Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's practical class. So, we've been able to work on what I consider to be the most important aspects of the CV. We've written the profile statement, and in the last class, we were able to put down our list of accomplishments. So, today we are going to continue from where we stopped, and the section we are going to be working on today is your professional experience. So, there are different names that can be given to this heading. Some people call it work experience. It can be called work history, professional experience, or just experience, and so on and so forth. But in this document, we've decided to call it professional experience. So it's basically about the job roles you've held in the past, which companies you worked at, the positions you held, and your accomplishments there, or the responsibilities you held. Okay. So this is the section where we're going to be putting down our work history for this CV. So the idea here is, since we are working on the chronological format, the most recent job position has to come first, and then you work back in history in that order. So remember, when we were creating the foundation of this document, we highlighted the subheadings and the body part for this particular section. So if you've held more than one job position, what you do before you start writing the title of the positions and the responsibility is you copy this part, right? You copy it and then you duplicate it. Okay, so this would be the most recent job position followed by the next one. So you do that as many times depending on the number of positions you've held in the past. But since this is just a demonstration, we'll limit it to just one job role. Okay, so we start with the subheading, which is basically the company you worked with, the position you held, and the time period for it. Okay, so let's call this company ABZ Limited. Okay, so you choose a form of separator. I prefer the comma because it's easy to read by ATS. If I do a comma here, I then can write the job role that I held in this company. So I say support and operations manager. So then you provide the duration for which you held that job role. So let me see, September 2017. If it is a position that you're occupying now, you can say till date. If it is one that you've already left, you can say, let's say, September 2018. So this is one way of arranging the position, the company, and the duration for which you work with that company. Another method that is also good is you can bring this down. So you sort of arrange them in a vertical order, but then you would have to reduce the line spacing between them so that they look as though they belong to one section. Okay, so you can write this in this manner, or you can use the comma separator. I'm a fan of this method because it helps you make adequate use of the real estate on your CV. Okay, so now we've sorted the company, the position, and the duration. The next thing is the body part for that particular position. There are two ways you can go about the body part. The first one is you can write a list of things that you've accomplished under that particular position. If you feel you did remarkably well and you have a whole lot of accolades that you received in that position, you can just write a summary of what you achieved in that position. Another method is to highlight your responsibilities while you are in that position. So I have a list of responsibilities here. I can just take this and then I bring them in. So when you're pasting, don't just paste directly, you paste as text only. so that it takes the same font size and the same font weighting that you're using on the document. So this is just a rough outline of the rows that was held in this position. So we'd want to arrange them with probably bullet points. You can choose a very simple bullet point to arrange these. So also it will show you any grammatical errors, any spellings that you need to deal with. So this is day to day. Okay, then inquiries. This is British English, but okay, it's correct. Inquiries, just an I was missing. So that's the first row, and I've also seen people give a kind of heading. Let's say duties, right, to highlight what they are writing under it, or you can say responsibilities. Okay, so this is fine too. All right, but you can also just write your responsibilities under this job position. Remember, an ATS has already been designed to look at these section headings and use it to determine what it's looking for under. So once it sees this, it will notice that it's the company name, this is the job position, this is the duration. I forgot to tell you this when I was writing the duration. If you were in a position where you worked only for 6 months or less, there's a way you can write the duration to hide the fact that you didn't stay long in that position. So let's say, for example, you started work there in December 2017 and you left in, let's say, February 2018. Instead of saying December here and February here, you can just use the years. So when you say 2017 to 2018, it hides the fact that you stayed there for a very short period of time. So that's another trick. Okay, so let's try arranging the responsibilities that we've written here with bullet points so that to make it to look palatable to the eye. So basically what I'm doing is I just delete the white space between one responsibility and another, then I pull back the one below it up, and then it automatically takes that bullet point. Okay, so you do that for all the responsibilities or the accomplishments that you want to highlight under that particular position. So this position, there were actually a whole lot of responsibilities that came with it because it was a managerial position. So I had to do a lot for them. So we've seen this, there seems to be a grammatical error here. Okay, so it talks about customer relationship management model. Okay. Okay, so we'll pull this one back. Pull this one back. Pull this one back. Yeah, so you do that for the whole of the responsibilities until you're done with it. So this customer relationship management model, it's actually correct. I'm not sure why the software is highlighting it. Maybe because of the way it was arranged. Okay, so you can tell it to ignore. Okay, so this is basically a job role now that has been included. So you can see how it looks with the rest of the document. It flows. The whole thing is flowing. So if you want to include another job position, so that would mean you start from here. Remember, you must have duplicated the subheading and the body part earlier. So you just bring in the next one and put it there. So you walk back that way through history until you get to the first job that you held. For those of us who have been in the professional work environment for a very long time, if you've worked for a very long time, we'll recommend you limit the number of job positions you've held, right? Just work it as far back as 15 years, topmost. The reason is that so that your CV doesn't become too cumbersome. Ideally, A recent graduate and someone with some years of experience should just have 2 pages of CV. But if you've had upwards of 10 years, then at least 3 pages is permissible. So if you want to include all the job positions, your CV may become too long, which is not ideal. Okay, so that's the class for today, how you highlight your professional experience. In the next class, we'll have to go to your educational history. We'll show you how you highlight that accurately also. And then from there, we go to skills and we walk down to the rest of the document. Thank you so much for the rapt attention. I'll see you in the next class. Cheers.